This is your sign to stop reading dark romance novel. This is your sign to stop, like completely stop it. Hi, my name is Josephine, and I love to read, and I have literally read every genre of books you can think of, and this is my 2 cents about dark romance novel. Let me start by saying that when Wattpad was Wattpad, I used to read dark romance novels. Like that was literally the only thing I read because that was the only thing that was appealing. Okay, let me not lie. That was not the only thing I used to read. That was the major thing I read. Dark romance novel. So is it vampires? Is it werewolves? Is it fairies? Is it fays? Anything that had to do with dark romance novel, I read it. And for a while, I started to not fantasize, but I started to see these things as normal. Stalking, the kidnapping, the Stockholm syndrome, everything started to look like normal to me until I told myself one day, just went stop. I think you're going crazy. So if you want to stop reading dark romance novel, this is your sign. This is your sign. Because let me tell you, the amount of things you have internalized and the amount of things you have normalized from reading dark romance novel, you won't even be able to comprehend it until you stop and you think and you start to look at the things around you and you realize that the things that you're reading in the book, although they are not happening literally, they are literally happening around you. Like although they are not, you're not seeing them word for word or how they are written in the book, you start to realize that these things are actually happening around me. And because of the way I have digested this book so much, they don't even look like an issue to me anymore. Yeah, because why am I comfortable with somebody stalking another person? Why am I comfortable with somebody having Stockholm syndrome? Or the- yeah, like I feel like if you are into dark romance novel, please stop. Stop, 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 stop. Because what you're doing is you're internalizing misogyny. The patriarchy has gotten a whole bungalow at the left or the right corner of your brain. You can't think properly anymore. And yeah, it's like a whole crazy thing. Now, let's talk about rape. If you read like dark romance novel now, you know that most times it has like a lot of things like sexual abuse, sexual assaults. And I think the authors try their best to romanticize it or try their best to make it look something fanciful to the point that you're like, like I know it's rape, but it doesn't it's not rape anymore. It's romance. It's I know she wants it, but yeah, that's rape. Yes. Or should we talk about like weird age gaps that we are now seeing reflected in like society? Like anytime I go on Instagram now, I will see at least one person that is 19 and is dating a 27, 28, or 30-year-old person, and it is it's please, where do you think the person got that idea from? Where do you think it is normalized? I There was a particular author that wrote a book about a 16-year-old that was in a relationship with somebody in her 30s. And then the book got banned from Amazon. And the reason why it got banned from Amazon was because, like, in the area where she wrote the book in, the legal age for consent was 18. And that was the only reason why they had brought that book down. But then, so do you know what the author did? The author just changed the location to a location where the age of consent was 16 and, and resold the book. And the book got numbers and even had 5-star reviews. These are the kind of things that we are normalizing into society. So you if you're say, okay, fight the patriarchy, we're trying to stop rape, we're trying to fight for the rights of women, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. But then again, we're encouraging dark romance authors to keep writing books with themes like rape, like Stockholm syndrome, like stalking. We're not doing anything. It seems like it just feels like we're taking 10 steps forward and 20 steps back. Because the more we push and we romanticize rape, the more we push, we romanticize pedophilia. We are romanticizing large age gap relationships. Like the man is 30, the girl is like 16. The girl, yeah, like the more we push this kind of narratives, the more it becomes internalized, and then we don't see a problem with it. And that is why you don't see a problem with a 19-year-old dating a 35-year-old or a 25-year-old. You don't see a problem with the fact that this person likes you, but instead of the person come and tell you he likes you, the person is following you all around town, and you think, oh my god, this is so romantic, this is romantic. That is not romance, babes. That is predator behavior. But you don't know that is predator behavior because you have internalized and ingested so much stalking and so much that it's all. And then I've even seen people that say, oh, I can't read any book that doesn't have spice. What? And that is why when you're being sexualized, you don't know you're being sexualized because you like to read only books that have spice. Now somebody makes a sexual joke at you, and oh my god, you're laughing with all your teeth, and I think person is so funny. Or somebody says the most creepiest thing, but then you think it's the most romantic thing because you have been reading dark romance novels. Please stop. I think stop it. And to the women that write dark romance novels, I am judging you, and this is not a safe space for you at all. So if you think you're coming here to listen to something, to me babying you or pampering you and making you feel like, oh my god, no, stop reading, drop that down, and drop it one side, because the kind of books you read is going to affect the kind of relationships you're going to have with men in the future. It's going to affect the kind of romantic relationship you have and the dynamic you guys have in that relationship, because you expect, like, subconsciously you expect abuse, or subconsciously you have already accepted that okay, this form of abuse is romantic. Because he is not, because your partner is not hitting you does not mean that any other kind of thing is not abuse. Like dark romance is just basically abuse with a pretty bow on it. So drop that book, drop it. There are a lot of romantic books that you can read. You can read like plain romance book. Let me not even start with eroticas are even the worst because that's just plain pornography, you guys. Like, stop it. Do you understand? I feel like you're limiting how much your brain can take. You're limiting how much imagination you can come up with because you're not reading trailers. You're not reading psychological trailers. You're reading dark romance. You're reading romance where the spice is more than the storyline itself. You're reading books that don't even have any storyline, just romance. It's just spice. I could go on and on and on and on and on and ramble about romantic books. And I will. I just even remembered that. Like my first introduction to like general romance was when I was in secondary school. When people used to exchange books and say, okay, take this book, go home, read it for a while, bring it back. You take that book, go home, bring it. So like just imagine your 12 year old reading a spicy book. Imagine your 13 or your 12-year-old child reading a dark romance novel. Because sometimes you see that the cover of these books are always very cute, they're very much cartoony. I can't remember the book. Is it ice hockey? I can't remember the book, but it's like a skater book. And the book had so much spice, but if you see the cover of the book, it looks like a book that a 12-year-old could read because it looks very cartoony and very, but the contents of that book, yeah. And let's not even lie. Parents keep on saying that okay, they're going to monitor what their child is reading. You're going to monitor this. You're going to. Let's all be honest with ourselves here. There is no way you can be so careful to the point that you know the content of everything your child is reading. So, so yes, honestly, I feel like there should even be a petition to just ban dark romance novels. Like ban it. Like let everybody just read Christian books. Okay, not Christian books. Actually, don't read Christian books. I tried my best. I tried, but nah, it wasn't just for me. But what I know is that after I realized how much misogyny I was ingesting and normalizing, how much weird behavior I was starting to see as normal because of the kind of books I had read, like dark romance books I had read, I knew I had to drop that book down. Yes. I had to drop that book down, put it somewhere. I realized that abuse is abuse, and because it is tied with a pink bow does not stop you from being abuse. Yeah, I think it's the same way you guys are ingesting child wife content now. It's the same thing, just different fonts. You guys, yeah, that's all I have to say. Like, this is your sign to stop reading dark romance novel. But if you don't want to, that's good. That's good. But don't say I didn't tell you when shit hits the fan and you enter a relationship with a man and then you finally realize that, oh my god, what the hell have I been reading? What am I accepting now? Like sometimes you just see yourself accepting things you don't even know that you're accepting until you see it from the perspective of somebody that is healed, or from the perspective of somebody that is not in that situation anymore, or you tell